Hi. So, finally getting a bit of filler stuff on it. Feels good to finally put just some sort of final touches to it. So, yep, that transition's lovely now. Skin's finally mounted. We've got 3 layers on the top of the door. I had to grind the top of the door to virtually nothing, so it virtually just came up to nothing, from full thickness to nothing on both sides. Laid a piece of fiberglass just bigger than the gap, and then went bigger and bigger and bigger again. So we've got 3 layers of glass now. The top of the door's good, so the filler. Reinstated the the cut. As you can imagine, there was a 15-20mm gap at the front here. Also repaired the frame on the inside. Set the door in position. Did the top first. Held the bottom of the door close to where it should be. And then once we've done that, fixed the back of the door. Bolt through into the frame. On the repaired frame, held the door in exactly position to open and close it so it's in good condition, good place, and then resin and fiberglass the inside frame of the door. It's going to need a bit of beautification to make it look nice and straight again. So, but we obviously had this was chopped off of here. This was also chopped off of there to make that wider. So, got a little bit of beautification work to make it look more like the original frame. But we're in there. I said to lengthen this skin here. This door gap was incorrect, so we basically ground both sides off, and then we built both of the edges up to get it there. So it needs a little bit of beautification work, but the door gap now is good. Put some door stops on the doors just to make the body fit nicer. So we now have basically a rubberized stop. It's only tack welded in at the moment, but a big enough tack to hold it. So basically now the door stops here. So we have a door stopper touching there, which basically gives us a nice alignment. And let's get the gap in. First click, second click on the door. On both sides it's good. Used an epoxy 2-pack adhesive to glue the aluminium hinge to the fiberglass. We'll put a small layer of glass over that, but to be totally honest, I think that's probably as strong as it's ever going to get. Obviously you have to redo this panel, but this is just a beautification panel, so it doesn't really make much difference. But yeah, the door hinge is now in, fixed permanently. Bump stop, so we now have like the door catch there. Probably have 4 points of contact on the door. Just trying to keep all the rattles down. Obviously, if you can imagine the outside edge of the door, we may put some foam on the returns, so we're going to make the returns a little nicer. But to be honest, that's not really a weather seal, that's more of a just to stop any rattling. The weather seal that we're going to have was along the front to stop any water dripping down again into this corner and then dripping down into the cabin and chassis area. But along this edge we'll have a little drip point anyway, so if it just follow it, it goes away from the chassis. The door seal will have to be good around here, but it won't have to be good at all along here because we've got this huge gap at the bottom. So the door seal will come down around, but then we'll seal on the back edge of this door here with the aluminium ducting, which will cover all the framework. Whereas you can seal the chassis and all the frame at the moment, realistically all of that will be covered with aluminium panels that duct the air in, duct the air back out, duct the air through, and obviously out the rear clip. Then all the chassis itself covered in panels, so all of the openness you see now, basically it'll all be panelled in. So yeah, driver's door, really happy with, pretty close. Passenger door, we've got the fit as good as we're going to get. We did the whole outside of the panel on this door. We ripped the whole door skin off. On the last one I left a patch kind of down the back. It was easier, and this one just took the whole door skin off. Now the frame that goes inside, that reinforcing frame, actually we didn't touch at all, other than grinding the gel coat off it. So obviously we've got to re-laminate it back into the door. But we didn't have to chop the frame, so it stayed in one piece. Use that as an advantage. Basically to hold this outer skin in the right place so that we can get it, so we're happy with it, and just keep opening and closing the door and taking the panels off to make sure that we get the door caps right. Well, we basically used 6 M5 bolts, and we drilled through the door, through the other skin, through at the top, through at the bottom. I run through both the skins. If you can imagine that the bolt this end, we put a nut behind it, so we clamped the nut and bolt onto that outer skin. Then we had 2 more nuts on the other side. So basically there was 3 nuts on this, but it basically fixed the screw to the outer and the inner skin. Advantage of that means we could manipulate the panel to get it as flat and square and as perfect on the gaps as we can. Obviously we did the whole skin, so the door gaps on the bottom there were easy because I made the panel too big and cut it back. So basically with the 6 screws holding that outer panel to the frame along the bottom, and then obviously to the inner skin along the top, it made it easy to set the door skin up. And we did the same thing again, ground the top off so it's virtually gone, and then started again. First strip here, second strip there, third strip all the way around. This door obviously has also the problem that this edge here was too far up. So basically we've cut horizontally, or not horizontally, but all around here and along that edge. They had a slot, and then we pushed it down because it was too high here. That was when we had the inner skin apart, and we rectified it. When we put the core mat and stuff on the inside of this inner skin, we rectified the insides. They ground it down to virtually nothing. So on this side, what I've done now is basically grind out where the slot was, where you can see the slot, grind it back to where the good fiberglass was, and then just put one layer on the outside, because we've already got pretty much the structure on the inside. So basically repair and get rid of the cut. This piece here and the one on the opposite side, even though we ground the outside down to thin and came out, we still need to take that center section off and basically have the inside grind the slot, what's left of the slot out, and put it back in. The body now is permanently mounted off the steel brackets off of these bars, so that's also in its position. Basically we fixed everything now in the center section, which is awesome. So now I can actually move forward because I don't have to worry about the positioning of this. Gaps to the rear clip, still I've got to play with this, and I don't like the way this return edge is about 3 inches thick there and narrows down to 2 inches and then comes out to 3 and back down to 2, because that edge now is pretty flat. When I take the rear clip off and then so I take this center section off and laminate the inside of these pieces here, what we'll do then is basically put that, which should be virtually flat, on a flat plate, and I'll extend all of these panels so they're all 3 inches, so it's got a nice perfect 3 inches all the way around it. 3 inches is a bit big, but since there's going to be no vision through here, it doesn't really matter. And it's nice to have that large step, so we won't have this kind of narrowing step here out to large. Plus I obviously ground these out at some point, thinking it was going to be lower, and they ended up being higher, so I can just basically laminate this back down to where it should be. And laminate out these holes that I've used. I've used 2 over there. There will be 2 bolts there, 2 bolts on the other side, eventually holding it in. Plus with that nice big lip, then we can put the line-up pieces. They're going to go between the rear clip and that. So basically the rear clip will have a male and then be a female part on there. So as it goes in, it lines the body up. So it's just a help with alignment. The catches do it a little bit, but we'll have a couple more of alignment pieces on there. So yeah, this door once this has gone off, it's only just started to go tacky now, so a day or so's time we can take the door off and laminate the rest of the skins to the frame. But we have a lot of work for a door alignment on this one, quite a bit more than the other side. Obviously a large gap here. The error is not in the door, sorry, the error is not in the bodywork, the error is in the door, so we're not going to fill the body out to that. We're going to bring the door back to this. So yet again, you've got to grind the gel coat off, because it's not good to fiberglass off the gel coat. Grind the gel coat off, build a sort of just, or bend an aluminium plate that'll just sort of cover the body, temporarily crazy glue, model glue that to that, and then we'll grind the back and then laminate this out wider to make up this gap. Also along here, this side of the body is straight, the door has been ground badly that way, so yeah, the gap's good here, but it gets wider, quite wide, back to narrow. So basically from there all the way to there, we've got to build the edge of the door out. Now obviously the outer panel's been done, so that's good. And now the reverse is actually on here. The door itself has got a nice constant flowing curve down here, but the body and this panel there go out and then go back in again. So we'll have to laminate that back to here. But if we're going to laminate this, we'll do it at the same time. The return edge where the door seal goes in, we'll build that return edge with that laminate at the same time. So we'll do two things at once to gain that back. So yeah, still work to do on the door, but it shouldn't be too long now. We'll have the center section pretty close to being pretty close. Oh no, Dale's span out. Oh no, shit. Oh bollocks, excuse my French. Damn, Dale's out of the Daytona 500. Oh shit, such is life. Don't worry, Junior, you'll get back. Anyway, so okay, car's pretty close. More progress is moving on. I've got gas rams coming for the doors. Wasn't going to originally do gas rams, but to be honest now, I've gone back to the idea because holding the door open is a pain in the bum, and I can imagine it being even worse if there's a gust of wind. So yeah, there seems to be a lot of fans on the TV at the moment who are a little bit pissed, similar to me, how Dale's come out. That's a shame. He's doing well. Oh well. Anyway, yeah. It's Daytona day, so yeah, we've been watching proper racing again. Speak to you all later. Oh, last thing. I tell a lie, last thing. Daytona prototypes, Dragon prototypes is going to the show in town called Driven. So I'll be taking the Porsche and I'll be taking my twin turbo LSX car, and we'll be going to the show called Driven. So if you Google Driven Calgary car show, you'll see the videos of last year's and previous shows' cars. So we've booked a stand. I'm going to be there under official capacity. So if you want to have a look, come down. If you happen to be in Calgary,